What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. This question got floated to me. I didn't just pull this out of my ass. In terms of Jack Eichel's future in Buffalo. Now, he has a year left on his entry-level deal. People forget that about him and McDavid. They're both only in the league 2 years. McDavid's already signed his extension. And I'm going to preface everything I'm going to say by saying I believe Eichel will sign a long-term extension before next summer. I don't think fans of Buffalo need to worry about him leaving. I think he's going to have great success with Phil Housley. I think Housley is going to be a hell of a fit for this squad they have. And, I think, again, his hockey expertise is off the charts, and I think he'll fit in very, very, very well with the culture in Buffalo. It's been good to have him back in Buffalo. Obviously started his Hall of Fame career there. All that being said, if Eichel were to want the fuck out of Buffalo, would the Boston Bruins, his hometown team, be a potential landing spot for the young man from North Chelmsford? And the answer is, if I'm swinging and kicking the tires, but first of all, Buffalo wouldn't trade him from the division. They'd send him out west. They'd trade him to LA for a bag of pucks before they kept him in the division. In reality, but let's just do a little research here. The Bruins have the assets to make a deal. I mean, they would have to back the Brinks truck up for him, but you look at it. I think David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy, and pick any couple prospects you want. Buffalo would have to take on Krejci's contract, and then some draft picks. I think a package like that would work. But then the catch-22 for both teams is the Bruins have Eichel and Bergeron down the middle. It's a really good 1-2 combo at center, but two of your best young building blocks are gone. Likewise, Buffalo, they tanked as long as they did in order to get the franchise cornerstone that is Eichel. Trading him away for some really, really good young players kind of gets them back to where they were in 2013-14, if you will. They had some talented youngsters, but no one to really build around. They didn't have that principal, foundational piece, if you will. So again, you look at it. I mean, it's cute to think about, and I kind of weighed the options last night over a few drinks. That's what I do when I go out drinking. I think about potential Boston Bruins trades. I think it's something cool to think about, but it's not happening. He's going to sign that extension with the Sabres. He's going to be a member of the Buffalo Sabres for a long time. I think the Bruins are actually, believe it or not, and I won't say that's too loud, are on the right track. And, as much as I would love to have Eichel in the mix, you're giving up a potential 40-goal scorer, David Pastrnak, a guy in Charlie McAvoy, I think will win it, be in the Norris Trophy discussion before his 24th birthday, and other pieces that you've really worked hard to draft and develop, and again, there is no Jack Eichel in the Bruins organization. Players like him don't come around too often, but they get the pieces to be a good team for a while. I think that they're actually are on the right track. So let's see what happens. Anyway, that's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for episodes for the off season and beyond. Later, guys.